I think we can all agree that, we've pretty much all gotten numb just to how big gaming has become in the mainstream media. For the past, few decades, gaming has become more and more of a socially acceptable media outlet, and, in recent years, most of them damn near outsell and have more of an audience than traditional media like movies or TV shows. I mean, think about it. How often do you go to the movie theater and see a film that is just amazing in every aspect? For a lot of people, that happening is like finding Waldo in those old picture books. You know he's in there, but the little bastard is taking advantage of my nearsightedness, so he's hard to find. And on the contrary, how often do you spend time paying money into newer games and enjoying the titles? Now, obviously, that case might be different for some people. I mean, I can't blame any of you for not playing any of the new games or watching any new movies when nowadays you really gotta choose between a game and, well, groceries. But for most people, video games are really where it's at in terms of popularity, especially over movies. You know it, I know it, and you can bet those old senile corporate folks know it, because why the hell else would the Bad Boys characters be in Fortnite? Half of the player base wasn't alive for the first movie. So with that, one thing that we do know for sure is that movies, alongside with a bunch of other outside entertainment media, love to collab with video games and even vice versa, all for the end goal of gaining more attention, which of course leads to gaining more dead presidents in everyone's pockets. But today, I want to specifically talk about video games reaching out to, get a little boost on their end, since I really talk about it on the channel. You guys know me, I'll talk a corporation trying to stick their hand in the cookie jar of a video game in a minute. I may or may not get pleasure from that, but what about when video games try to get something from other media? Specifically Hollywood actors and celebrities as the cast in video games. This is a pretty common occurrence that we see a lot of in games where, a studio will hire a well-known actor or person to maybe voice some lines in the title. But why exactly would they go through the length of paying a celebrity even when most of the time they don't get to show their face in the game? Like, yeah, Megan Fox might be in Mortal Kombat, but how are you gonna thirst over the woman behind a brutal vampire? Like, this is dope, but I'm trying to see some tape. Like always, I'm gonna do my best to break the situation down for anyone watching, and hopefully after this video, you'll have a better understanding as to why video games like casting celebrities. Now, I feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record when I say this, but it's literally the truth and the best way to understand this shit. So basically, that's the fact that all of the entertainment media is one big ass business. All the collabs and crossovers that you see are done for money and for keeping relevancy in each party involved. So, it should go without saying that celebrities being in video games is a way to gain some cool points with the fans, especially with a familiar face and a well-liked one. Video game studios use these actors as an attraction to the game, but as much as I'm sure these people will have their fans, I doubt most studios' goal is to have the celebrities' fans, buy the game just because the name is attached. At least I'd hope not. Now, I'm sure there are some crazy anomalies out there that will do that, don't get me wrong. Maybe you're a Keith David stan and you just get moist at the thought of Keith David, I don't judge. But I'm sure that any rational studio will just use the celebrity as a bonus point. Like, yeah, we have these next-gen graphics and good storyline, along with the voice acting from Keith David if you're a Keith David fan, just as an additional selling point. I love Keith David. But even though, games often seek out celebrities to put inside their games, there's some rare cases where they're often inclined to use celebrities. Most cases in movie adaptation games where they'll use the same actor from the film to voice the same character in the game. Now, obviously, we don't get this much often anymore since games based on movies get their own spin-off line nowadays, and this really only happened during the PS2 and original Xbox era. You gotta admit though, it was a pretty fun and wacky time period for games. The one that immediately comes to mind when I think about this kind of game is the original Spider-Man game from 2001, where Tobey Maguire actually voiced his lines in the game, which is just a treat to hear.
Help!
It's never easy, is it? Who are you? No, wait, let me guess. The Emerald Elf?
But even though the rare cases of movie adaptation games had celebrities record some weak ass lines. The best case scenario for celebrities in games is when game studios take the time to find celebrities with actual voice acting skill and make the character that they play in the game come to life. There's many examples of this happening throughout the history of video games, and half the time you don't even realize which character is played by the celebrity until maybe after you beat the game or get told by somebody else. This is the one time when having a celebrity genuinely boosts the game as a whole. And if the studio really likes the performance, they might even take it a step further with modern technology and capture the actor's entire likeness with motion capture. Games like Beyond Two Souls or Cyberpunk 2077 that literally bring the person inside the game usually do so because the game benefits more from their actual presence, whether that be in the storyline or with gameplay. So, as time goes on and we see gaming get squeezed off where it can by big businesses, I doubt that we'll see an end to celebrities being in video games anytime soon. Sometimes it'll be a good addition, but a lot of times it'll just be for the gain of the studio, like who's actually going to play that one generic game that has Will Smith in it. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds for celebrities in video games. So what do you guys think about celebrities in video games, man? Feel free to comment down below. And as always, if you like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one.